Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. This is the special edition. I'm Mike Smith, and joining us today, Lori Koker and Alan Koker. You know them, longtime coaches in our community, teachers, just members of the community that everybody knows. Great story about Lori and her past couple of years, not only in coaching, but her health and how her husband Alan has been beside her every step of the way. We'll get back to them in just a moment. Our interview today brought to you by Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center, focusing on the adult education. If Alan, maybe you want to just do this commercial because you work for these folks.
Yeah, you're good. I work on the high school side.
Yeah.
And I do job placement for them, but it's a great place, and we're growing, and our enrollment's up, and doing good things there.
And while you're there, you probably see a lot of the adult education aspect. You may not be immediately responsible for, but you see those folks coming in.
Yeah, for sure. They use a lot of our labs that we share labs. High school shares labs with adult education. Yeah, we do. It's really good programs that we have.
All right, super. You're hired, man. I'm going to bring him back and do this. Again, Lori and Alan Koker with us. Of course, everybody knows you guys in coaching. Of course, Alan coached basketball for many years while you were coaching volleyball, and then Alan helped out with coaching volleyball. And I don't know if it's like Alan with your wife as it was with mine. When I was helping my wife, I was just the glorified towel boy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Jeff Reisinger referred to me as one time. But always standing in there in support. But a lot of people know about your health situation here over the last year or two, Lori, and a lot of people have been praying for you. And let's start with the good news first.
Okay, so after my surgery, they said I was cancer-free, so that's awesome. I still have some treatments for radiation, but, I'm feeling really good, and I'm excited to start a different chapter now.
Yeah. This first diagnosis, when did this come about?
It was May.
Of this past year, 2022?
Correct. Yep, and I was diagnosed with, they call it a triple negative, which is an aggressive form of cancer.
Yeah.
I'm at Ohio State, and I just have a phenomenal team, and I do feel like the team up there and all the prayers and all the support is huge in my life right now.
Yeah. Now, you decided, in spite of that diagnosis, to coach last year.
Yes.
A lot of people would not have been able to do that, and I know it was tough on you at times, but talk about that decision and how you got through all of that.
Well, I definitely got through, of course, the support of my husband, but the team was amazing. It was a great group, and we talked about it. We talked about it at the beginning, but we wanted to keep the culture in the gym actually cancer-free, and they did a great job of that. And then I sat down and had an educational day as well. But people don't realize there was times if it wouldn't have been for them, I would have stayed home and laid on the couch or something. Yeah. And, they just had positive energy, and I think we fed off of each other. And I really give them a lot of credit for getting through what I was going through.
Yeah. I know that I think in talking to you before after one of the matches during the season, I thought you did some of your treatments on Monday, and then you had the rest of the week to either practice or play.
Correct. And then towards tournament time, they changed it to Tuesdays.
A couple weeks left in the season, they changed it to Thursdays.
Or Thursday,
because her blood counts were low, and they just wanted to give her a few extra days to get those up. And they changed them to Thursday, and quite honest, that first Thursday was a little rough.
Yeah.
I think we had 3 Thursday games left in the season. She had treatment in the morning and then went and coached in the evening. But she got through it. And
again, I'm going to be honest, I was a little loopy, but I would look at my players, especially my seniors, and they'd say, "We got you, coach." And it just melt my heart. It was awesome.
Yeah. I know with having to, I just know what it's like when you just have a cold. You don't feel well. You don't feel like going to the office. Well, you had something 10 times, worse than that. And the courage and the bravery that you showed throughout the course of the year, I know was inspirational for a lot of other people, whether you know that or not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and the cards and text messages, they didn't stop, and it's so appreciated. And that's, I didn't step down from coaching because of my health. And, I do want people to know that, and I do want the continued prayers, but I kind of just want to go in a different avenue. Like, for example, we had a little meeting yesterday, about 5 of us ladies, and there's not a lot of support for breast cancer in Ross County, and we're going to start meetings, and we're going to call them the Pink Pack. And, you know, I just want to do more things like that. I want to be able to give back because it meant such a difference to me.
Yeah.
So.
And that will be something that's open to others that are going through this?
Yes, we're checking out where we can possibly put flyers and have meeting dates, and I'm going to set up a Facebook group so people, and we want it to be a positive impact because that's what I've had so much of, and every story is so different. Like us 5 ladies, we all have a different story, and it's just nice. Even if it's a one-on-one and you don't want to go to a meeting, at least you have a face and you have a contact. So I just, you know, like I said, I wouldn't have got through it without my team and people around me, and I just want to give back.
Yeah. Alan, I know as in a way, like a caregiver, and there's a lot of different types of caregivers out there. People, like when my dad had Alzheimer's, you know, people have to step up. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was tough at times, but she's strong.
Yeah.
She's really strong. Stuff I've seen her go through, and I mean, you see her today.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that.
I wanted to do an interview without getting choked up.
I'm trying to pinch you to make it.
You can call me Oprah or Barbara Walters. You know, they always got their guests crying about everything. Or Jerry Maguire when he's talking to Roy Fire. You're not going to get me crying here, Roy. Yeah. So, well, I'll probably be blubbering here before we're all done. But yeah, we all go back a long way. 23 years in coaching. Of course, a lot of people may or may not know you graduated from Chillicothe High School.
Correct.
Played with another Hall of Fame volleyball coach, Joyce Hall.
Correct. Yep.
How much of what she brought forward as a coach did you take with you as a coach?
Well, you know, I tried to take every example that she gave me as well. You know, the game involved so much, like changed so much. But just her dedication and her wanting to learn all the time kind of passed it on to me that, you know, I think you have to learn every year. You know, absolutely. And being a head coach takes tons of time, and all head coaches know that. And I just felt like I couldn't give that much time to the program that those girls deserve. And that's what made my decision. Like, it wouldn't be fair to them not to go at it so wholeheartely.
Right. I know when you're going through life, you know, and then they say, and then life happens out of the blue. You're riding high. You had tremendous success when you were at Westfall, SVC championships, 3 straight trips to the Final Four. You go to Zane Trace, you win a conference championship there. You get to the regional tournament. Southeastern, kind of in a rebuilding scenario, and you get a team this past year to the district championship. Just when all of this happy stuff is going on, you don't sometimes think about, but what if? Well, sometimes those what ifs become reality.
Yes.
How do you deal with that when you first hear some bad news?
Well, again, it was tough. I guess as coaches, I've said this before, you know, once you get that initial shock, it was more about, I want to know my plan. Like, what's my plan? I want to get through it. And you just, you know, life takes you in a different journey for some reason, and you just have to figure it out. And, you know, I just, like, again, with all the support, I just picked myself back up and knew what I had to do. And my journey changed a little bit, actually, from what my first surgery was going to be like. And it was hard. I mean, it was really hard. But, again, support groups help, and I got through it. So
I know when you're teaching or coaching kids, the plan is to be the best you can be in preparation to go out and win. But sometimes in competition, you don't come up on the winning side.
Yeah.
And I just have always believed that athletics or extracurriculars can be a great teaching tool to show young people, and frankly some adults, that this is like life. You don't always get that W. Sometimes there are things that are thrown at you, but what are ways that you can take those setbacks and turn them into eventual victories?
Yeah, and I think that what I'm trying to do is, with the help of my friends, is start a support group. And I think that's a way of giving back and starting a positive. And, you know, if you can reach out to one person and help them, that's a W.
Absolutely.
It is. And I've learned that throughout, you know, the success at Westfall, Zane Trace, Southeastern. and I've always had good support there through, whether it's administration, my assistant coach. I mean, I have really been dealt good hands. Yeah. I have.
I know with something that Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, said a number of years ago, and he worked a lot with Samaritan's Purse, where they would go into areas that had been devastated by famine, drought, hurricanes, tornadoes, and they're still doing that, where they go into these communities and try to help people get through that trauma of living through that. And he once said, sometimes the Lord allows us to go through those valleys because he wants us to be able to help through personal experience other people that are going through those valleys. Here's how the Lord got me through. Yes. Have you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. We actually started going to church about 4 months before I was diagnosed, and I truly believe that was a reason. And our faith is so much stronger now. Fantastic. And I share scriptures every day with, people that are survivors. And it's made me a better person.
Well, we can all tell stories like that, I'm sure, about all of ourselves. There's no individual that's better or worse. We're all walking through this life together, and hopefully we find that pathway that gets us where we need to be. And that's great news. I really appreciate hearing that. In Lori's 23 years as coaching, she had a career record, 406 wins. She was inducted into the Ohio High School Volleyball Coaches Association here, I think, in 2022. Was that right? Or was it 21?
21, I think.
He knows all those stats.
Yeah, you went into the Westfall Hall of Fame in 2017.
Yes.
Where you coached there. That was your first head coaching job. So, congratulations on all those things and all the accolades. But I'm as happy for you right now where you are in life than I could ever be for you on the court.
Thank you.
Because this is real life. This is where the rubber meets the road, the reality check.
It is. But I would never want to take away from, I've had so much joy in coaching. I've built great bonds with all the families, and to have athletes go on to coach and still communicate with them, and the friendships that I've built, it's been amazing for me.
Yeah. And Alan, going back to that, what we were talking about earlier, what advice would you have for maybe a husband or a wife whose spouse or good friend is going through something difficult? What kind of advice would you give as that caregiver to help somebody else that's going through that?
Well, the one thing, we're pretty competitive. So the one thing that I've learned is listen. I mean, that's all I can say. And I've learned that a lot in the last year is just listen to what she has to say, what she's going through, try to help her. I don't have the answers. Yeah. I have none of the answers. And I tell her that all the time, but I just try to listen and support, and I've been to every treatment, every single one, and she's got some more to go through. She's still got some stuff to do here, but we're hoping by June that we're
good to go,
done with this and moving on to something else.
Yeah. When you take those wedding vows, for better or for worse, this is that worst part sometimes that we have to, that really was in there for a reason, that I had to hear
and
that.
And the one thing, too, I could say, like Alan has done, that maybe the support person could do is not only does he listen, but being the competitive part, he started taking notes at because you go through tons of appointments, and he's like, I think I'll start recording them, because we get in the car and we wouldn't agree what was said, and then we get competitive about it.
You throw the red flag, the instant replay.
I'll go timeout. So he started recording it so we can listen again, because you're nervous and you want to do what's right. So that was a good thing. If I could give an advice, was record your sessions so you don't get in a little fight and you know what's going on. But
golly. Yeah, as I was talking earlier, my mom, she had cancer. My dad had Alzheimer's. And when you went into that circumstance of being maybe the one that's got to step up and help, it's like, I don't even know where to begin. What's the first thing that we need to do? And, of course, the good Lord gets all the glory for that, because he put good people in our path. And I know you could probably tell that story. of the doctors, the nurses,
Absolutely.
other people that were put in your path.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure. And like I said, I didn't realize once I was diagnosed how many people, like just, we live in the Zane Trace area, and there is 8, now there's 9, because I just found out a good friend was also diagnosed. There are 9 people within our area, and it's a lot.
That you know.
I mean, that's just of I know of. And again, it's scary and it's hard, but I think if you can talk to somebody and stay in a positive mind frame, it helps.
Yeah. You've heard the old expression, turning lemons into lemonade. Here's a prime example of that, and we appreciate that. And when you get that information available on your support group, please let us know so we can get that word out.
I appreciate that.
Guys, good to see you again.
You too.
Yeah,
You too.
hang in there. Now Alan gets to take you to a nice breakfast or lunch.
No, back to work.
Yeah.
Oh, in case somebody's watching, I didn't even think of
I
that.
gave a great plug for McCoy Ross.
Well, we appreciate you guys. Again, this Litter Media special edition with some old friends of ours, Lori and Alan Koker. Our interview today has been brought to you by the Pickaway Ross Career and Technology Center. For Litter Media Live, I'm Mike Smith.
Thank you.